Waste Paper, a poem of profound insignificance by Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Panta galos, kai panta, kanis, kai panta, to mahden. Out of the reaches of illimitable light, the blazing planet grew and forced to life unending cycles of progressive strife and strange mutations of undying light, and bore some books than hell's own self more trite, and thoughts repeated and become a blight, and cheap rum hounds with moonshine hooch made tight, and quite contrite to see the flight of fright so bright. I used to ride my bicycle in the night with a dainty acetylene lantern that cost $3. In the evening, by the moonlight, you can hear those darkies singing, "Meet me tonight in dreamland." Bah! I used to sit on the stairs of the house where I was born, after we left it, but before it was sold, and play on a zobo with two other boys. We called ourselves the Blackstone Military Band. Won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home? In the spring of the year, in the silver rain, when petal by petal the blossoms fall, and the mockingbirds call, and the whip-poor-will sings. Marguerite. The first cinema show in our town opened 1906 at the old Olympic, which was then called Park, and moving beams shot weirdly through the dark, and spit tobacco seldom hit the mark. Have you read Dickens' American Notes? My great-grandfather was born in a White House, under green trees in the country, and he used to believe in religion and the weather. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanty House was the name of a novel by I forget whom, published serially in the All-Story Weekly before it was a weekly. Advent. Disillusion is wonderful, I've been told, and I take quinine to stop a cold, but it makes my ears ring, always ringing in my ears. It is the ghost of the Jew I murdered that Christmas day, because he played 3 o'clock in the morning in the flat above me. 3 o'clock in the morning. I've danced the whole night through, dancing on the graves in the graveyard, where life is buried, life and beauty, life and art and love and duty. Ah, there, sweet cutie, stung, out of the night that covers me, black as the pit, from pole to pole. I never quote things straight, except by accident. Sophistication, sophistication, you're the idol of our nation. Each fellow has fallen for jazz, and will give past a merry raz. Through the ghoul garden gateways a slumber, and fellow guestship with the gutless worm. Next stop is 57th Street to 57th Street. The next stop, Achilles' wrath to Greece, the direful spring, and the Governor General of Canada is Lord Byng, whose ancestor was shot or hung. I forget which, the good die young. Here's to your ripe old age. Copyright 1847 by Joseph Miller. Entered according to the Act of Congress. In the office of the Librarian of Congress. America was discovered in 1492. This way out. No, lady, you gotta change at Washington Street to the Everett train. Out in the rain, on the elevated, crated, sated, all mismated. 12 seats on this bench, how quaint. In a shady nook beside a brook, 2 lovers stroll along, express to Park Avenue, car following. No, we had it cleaned with the sand blast. I know it ought to be torn down, Before the bar of a saloon there stood a reckless crew, when one said to another, "Jack, this message came for you." "It may be from a sweetheart, boy," said someone in the crowd. And here the words are missing. But Jack cried aloud, "It's only a message from home, sweet home. From loved ones down on the farm, fond wife and mother, sister and brother, bootleggers all, and you're another. In the shade of the old apple tree, 'neath the old cherry tree, sweet Marie." The Concologist's first book, by Edgar Allan Poe, stubbed his toe on a broken brick that didn't shoe. Or a banana peel in the fifth reel, by George Creel. It is to laugh and quaff, and it makes you stout and hale. And all my days I'll sing the praise of ivory soap. Have you a little T.S. Eliot in your home? The stag at eve had drunk his fill. The thirsty hart looked up the hill and craned his neck just as a feeler to advertise the double dealer. William Congreve was a gentleman. O art, what sins are committed in thy name, for tawdry fame and fleeting flame, and everything ain't that a shame. Ma, oh, belle. Ah, loves yo well, around my heart you have cast a spell, but I can't learn to spell pseudocracy, because there ain't no such word. And I says to Lizzie, if Joe was my feller, I'd teach him to go to dances with that. Rat, bat, cat, hat, flat, plat, fat, fry the fat the fry. You'll be a drugstore by and by. Get the hook above the lines of brooding hills, rose spires that reeked of nameless ills, and ghastly shone upon the sight in every flash of lurid light. To be continued, no smoking, smoking on 4 rear seats. Fare when return to 5 cents after August 1st, except outside the Cleveland city limits. In the ghoul-haunted woodland of wire, strangers pause to shed a tear. Henry Fielding wrote Tom Jones, and cursed be he that moves my bones. Good night, the stars are bright. I saw Leonard Tendler fight. Farewell, farewell. Oh, go to hell. Nobody home in the shanty. And how will you experience your life artistically?